So we almost finalized our seed round, which was before the product was even launched. We actually finalized our term sheet. We were about to like complete our shareholder agreement and all of that. And we were about to release our product, the exchange product, on 15th of April. And then on 6th of April, the government of India decided that the crypto is banned. And it was not the government of India, it's the Central Bank of India, that they are not going to support the banking services. Hey, I'm Rohit. I am the founder and CEO of a company called Mudrex. It's a fintech company. We help traders do algo trading and help other people invest in those trading strategies. We are backed by Y Combinator. This video is about my journey through the entrepreneurship of last 10 years. In this journey, I have built 3 companies, and I will try to share whatever I learned from all the lessons I learned from each company and whatever helped us go through the next level. I was born in a very small town. It's in Rajasthan, very close to Jaipur. This town almost has nothing. There has been no development in last 15 years, I would say, and to be honest. So for me, I was a regular guy. You can say any tier 3 village guy, and I was studying in a very small school, which was kind of the top school in the city, but like that was still small. I was a very average student, not a topper or anything like that, but I was always good at math. So somebody like told me about IITs, and like for the first time, I saw something like for me, like this is something I can do probably. And my parents motivated me to like prepare for IIT JEE. So there is a very standard ecosystem in India. Like people generally go to Kota. There is this place Kota where they do coaching for the IIT entrance examination. So I went there. I studied hard for like 2 years. Like that was the single goal in my mind and heart, you can say. I like did everything I could do, and then I cleared IIT and I went to. I decided to join IIT Bombay, especially because my counseling was in Bombay, and I just loved the city and I loved the campus, and I could see like this is the place where I would have the maximum exposure probably. And I would say like that's when my life started changing, because I started getting exposure to multiple different things. In my first year, I just like decided I will try everything there is in a college, which could be like filmmaking to theater to dance to music or anything like that. I tried all of that. And then in the second year of my sophomore year, like I got exposure to entrepreneurship through a friend who was starting this one company, and I started helping him out. Going through that process, I kind of ended up having my own company by the end of my second year. So that's how my entrepreneurship journey started. So I started this my first company was called sabjiwala.com. So it was an e-commerce grocery ventures. It was back in 2010. It was kind of like one of the first Indian e-commerce grocery business. Big Basket came in 2012. So it was we actually shut down before that. So there were 3 important lessons I learned from my first company. Number one thing was I got into a startup ecosystem just because I saw an opportunity. So there was not a natural, you can say, founder market fit. I was not probably made to do that. A founder should be building a company where he could spend 10 years of his life, or like more than that probably, because that's the amount of time it would take to build a big successful company. The second mistake then we did was we raised money from the wrong angel investor. So why it was the wrong money was because this was his first investment. This was his hard-earned money. This was not the money that investor could lose. If the person is comfortable losing that money, only then he would be able to support the startup in the right way, in the rational way. If somebody is emotional to that money, if somebody can't afford to lose that money, then they start giving you wrong advice. Then they start pushing you in the wrong directions. And that's what happened to us basically. That guy started pressuring us into the wrong direction. And then the third mistake, I would say this was not us. That was like being early into the market. There was no internet penetration. We didn't take that into account. There was no mobile penetration, smartphone penetration at all in 2010. So we were totally early into the market. That is why there was no serious money into that business at that point of time. And this whole market changed, by the way, just after 2 years. So basically we shut it down somewhere around 2011. That was almost like ending of third year for me in my graduation. Then I started exploring different opportunities, because now I literally tested the blood of entrepreneurship, and there was just no going back. Like I definitely knew I couldn't live any other life after that. Through a friend of friend, I got to meet another guy. With this guy, we came into the discussion of startups, and suddenly we got to an idea, okay, there is this game called Pocket Games, and a lot of people play that game, and it's a computer game. It's not even online, and two people are playing this game. And I told him, like, yeah, I've seen my batchmates playing it, doing bets on this game. And at that point of time, smartphone was getting a thing. It was 2012, basically. By that time, Android was there in India, at least. So we started thinking, okay, this game should definitely exist on mobile, on Android, on iOS. Why shouldn't we make it? Basically, it's a two-player game. It would make completely sense because it's social, it's competitive in nature. People are already playing it. There is already proof of concept there. We just have to productize it for the mobile experience. So we started building this game. Then we decided, okay, let's not make it for mobile first. Let's make it for Facebook first. So we started building this Facebook game. And by doing that process, this guy had to go to US. So he shifted to US, and that project kind of got shut down. But I got the idea of gaming after that. So which led me to found my second company, which was called Backstage, which was into mobile games. So I found this another guy called Somnath Pal, who became my co-founder. And then we thought from the fresh perspective that let's not make something big, let's make something small. So this guy came around the idea, okay, we should make a game on food, just as a very simple thought. And with that, we started exploring different ideas. And then we came up with a concept of our first game, which was called Hungry Hamster. And then slowly, this got to a 12-people team. And all of them were working part-time. Nobody was working full-time because I had no money this time. I didn't raise wrong money, first of all, and no serious money was going to come in before I had the product or I had some traction. So I had to somehow got to that level. So this team built a game after a year and roughly a year and 6 months kind of efforts. We launched this game on Android. The first thing which happened in a good way was we got 100,000 installs for this game without doing much efforts on the marketing side, because to be honest, I didn't know any marketing on the gaming side. It was a polished game, that as a first game, as a gaming studio, that was a good first game. But as a gaming company, that was the worst game you could ever design, because we ended up earning less than $100 from that game in the next 1 year. So that was the second break in my second startups. The best part was I learned was I got together a team without having money. And the team quality was super high, even when people were working part-time. I was kind of suited for the market as well. But I didn't made it in the capital intensive business. This was still not a business, this was a project. So I started thinking about how to make it a business. Then I started reading about all the games that were around in that geography, in that you can say what were happening around ad-funded models. So this was the game we were completely focused on in-app purchases. I never believed that a game could make money based on advertisement. And this was the first time I tried to open my mind that I don't know everything. I probably don't know anything in this industry. I need to learn everything. And during this time, I started working in a friend's office. I knew this guy was one of the best designer was there in IIT Bombay, basically. That's how I knew him first. And then one day, we were in a bar, we were drinking beer, and this guy told me, I want to make a very simple game. And I was like, what? And this guy told me, I want to build a game on sperm race. I don't know what happened. I just like the name, sperm race. That sounds like a perfect game name. And then I came up with this beautiful conceptualization with the help of him. There would be a sperm who has to keep going up, and there are different sperm, and you have to keep going up without colliding with any of the other sperm. And that's what the basic philosophy of the biology is as well. So we just brought that into the game. It was a very simple game. We released this within 1 month of development, compared to 1 and 6 months of development for the last game. And within 3 to 4 months, we got 1 million installs for this game. And this game was completely monetized using the ad-funded model. And for the first time, we made money. And by this time, I was completely broke for the last 2 years, I would say, during my entrepreneurship life. I was literally living houseless, literally living in people's couches and all of that. So this is the first time I made money. And I took all the learnings from this game, which was gaming is completely mathematical. I used to think it is more artistic driven and it is more design driven and all of that, but it could be completely science. And I defined all the numbers, like there is a user life cycle, there is this dropping points, and you can literally improve those dropping points. You can build a model where you can know each install's value. Then I released my next game, which was completely non-luck based. So even in Sperm Race, it got to 1 million installs because it had a catchy name. This got viral and all of that. But this next game was called Jumpy Type, which we released, which I released, I think, in 2 weeks of development again. And I got to a level where there was just a single geography I started focusing on, which was United States, sitting in India. I was acquiring a user in 20 cents, which was minimum compared to any other gaming company in the world. And I was getting $1 from a user, which was, again, highest compared to any other game in the world. And this was from install, not from a paying user. And using that, we got 3 million installs for this game. And this game made me a lot of money. So for the first time, I was not just broke, but like I was kind of in the rich category as well. So then I met this another friend of mine who recently closed his company called Tiny Out. They raised huge amounts of funds before, and this guy was really good at tech. And we both started working on a different game called Folio, which was completely social kind of a game. So we released this game after 7-8 months of development. Again, we took a lot of time in this game of development because this was a serious game. And this game started getting viral. Like we literally got a whole college after college for this game, which was a good social graph, you can say, which was the good part of this game. But within this cycle, like then I started realizing there are still things missing in what I'm doing. There is no vision as to what I'm doing in life. I'm just building games after games. I'm probably looking for a number, 50 million or 100 million or whatever that number is, but it doesn't mean anything. Like I don't know what I'm doing in my life, what impact I'm creating. And then I met some of my friends who recently got into Bitcoin as an investment tool. And I had heard of Bitcoin before and I never took it seriously. But like this time, the noise was so much that I couldn't ignore it. So I thought, okay, I should read about it. And I started spending 8 hours a day just reading about different blockchain applications, white papers, what are the use cases, what are the things happening. And this happened naturally while Folio was still alive. And that's when I met a few of my older friends, Adul, who became my co-founder. Suddenly we started documenting things. Okay, these are the ideas we got, and we started building docs. And then there was a certain point when we decided, okay, we need to get into that. And that was the same point then I had to decide, okay, I'm officially like leaving PaxPlay, my previous company where I spent 5 years of my life basically. So that's when we got to know, okay, we need to build this crypto exchange in India because there is no Coinbase in India as such. And token economics are going to be scalable in ways like if there are going to be multiple blockchain projects, there are going to be multiple cryptocurrencies, and people, as a normal consumer, I can't handle multiple tokens just to pay for things. Like for coffee, if I have a coffee token, it doesn't make sense. So there would be a payment layer. So we decided with that, okay, that's the layer we want to be part of, and that layer would itself depend on an exchange. So that's how we decided to build an exchange. And then we brought him Prince as well as our co-founder, who was Edu's previous co-founder. I knew him for last 7-8 years. And then I gave call to one of my close friends from Bombay, Snehil Bakshi, who was the co-founder of a company called Housing.com. And Housing.com raised $130 million in its lifetime when it was at its peak. And he was the chief of product there. He created the whole product from scratch. He was the design guy there. And then I met Alankar as well, again, who was my junior from IIT Bombay. Again, I knew him from last 7-8 years. And he was also exploring cryptocurrency on the separate side. So again, I knew fundamentally he also believes in the same future we are believing in. And he got on board as well. So now this was a 5 co-founder team, which was something not traditional in a startup ecosystem, but I knew all of those guys for last 7-8 years, which basically meant all the fundamentals that I can work with these guys for next 10 years. I trust these guys, and these guys are best at what they do, and we all have complementary skill sets. Then we started like building the exchange. We started working on it. By this time, I had built decent credibility in ecosystem as well. So this time it was easier for us to raise rounds and funds as well. So we almost finalized our seed round, which was before the product was even launched. We actually finalized our term sheet. We were about to like complete our shareholder agreement and all of that. And we were about to release our product, the exchange product, on 15th of April. And then on 6th of April, the government of India decided that the crypto is banned. And it was not the government of India, it's the Central Bank of India, that they are not going to support the banking services. And then again, like it got hit. Obviously, like money was not there anymore. So all the investors got backed out because like it didn't make any sense for them. And then we literally took a drawing board. We started just writing down all the ideas, like just shoot what you want to make as a team. One was on the derivatives exchange, and one was like solving trading automation, basically, like helping people do automated trading. Then we closed down the derivatives exchange just on the fact that we didn't have any competitive advantage. There were already existing platforms for that. While on the other side, there were no existing platform for the second problem, which was how to automate trading for people who don't know how to write code. So we decided that approach. We thought this is going to be big. We started writing code for the first time for this thing roughly around June end. Our whole code, which was about to launch for the exchange, which was ready like on 15th of April, that got like totally through the trash. And we started writing fresh line of codes. So we started getting data points from like people who were our friends who were into trading. Luckily, like since we have been into IIT background, a lot of our friends have been into high frequency trading, financial backgrounds and all of that. So we started getting data from all these guys, like what are the important things, how do they make trading algorithms, what are the key things they look for in a trading algorithm. So we started working on the product. After 3 months, we released the first alpha. And the alpha basically was an MVP, I would say. It's a minimum viable product. It was not functional. It was just to give people idea, like this is what we are making. Do you think you can make something interesting out of this? And we definitely could see that people were excited just by seeing the product. It was something like they had never seen something like this. And second thing we got was like the direct feedback that this is still missing, because they were asking, okay, I want to do this, how do I do this? So we got direct input points. Okay, this is still missing in the product. So we launched in November end, after taking all the feedback, and this was the fully functional product. Then we gave it to a few people whom we interacted with in the last 4 months. Since we were into trading business, like trading volume is one of the most important key metric we measure. Trading volume is basically the transaction value you have processed through your systems to the exchanges and all of those things. So we, in the first month of our launch, we did $10,000 worth of trading volume, which was not big, but this was something that somebody actually used our product for the real money, to trade real money. In the next month, we did 5x. It was $50,000 worth of trading volume in the next month. And by this time, we applied to Y Combinator as well. So Y Combinator luckily selected us. They liked us, they liked the team and what we were building. So we moved to Silicon Valley and become a Valley startup. And the number one thing we started focusing on was, after that, just keep listening to these users who were trading real money using our product. So in the month of January, then we tripled down our numbers to $150,000 worth of trading volume. And in the Feb, we again doubled down to $300,000 worth of trading volume. So we started thinking about like how do we establish the trust in an organic way which get solved for each new user who is coming to the platform. So two things we did. Number one, we literally just dropped a single banner on our website where people could come and basically schedule a one-on-one with the founder to know what the product does and like go through the onboarding process. That helped us like getting people comfortable with the product, because like this was a trading product and it was complex product than like your usual consumer products. And the second thing was we started building an open community of all the users who were on our platform. So people could talk to each other, they could discuss about trading ideas, they could like literally drop in any complaints they had, any help they needed. By the end of March, we got 100 people in this community, and now we were having all different variety of feedback from the people who were using the product. We launched to the public via Forbes somewhere around Feb end. We did our product hunt launch a week after that. We were number one product of the day during that day. So we got a lot of traction from there. And in March, basically, we again doubled down our numbers to roughly $300,000 worth of trading volume. And then in April, again, we keep incorporating all the feedback we were receiving. In April, we did roughly around $800,000 worth of trading volume, which was again double compared to the March. And then we decided, okay, now it is time to like ramp up the platform. But during that time, Binance, a hack happened in the month of May. And because of that, for the first time, like our month-over-month growth stopped, and we literally took a hit. So we did $700,000 worth of trading volume in the month of May, which was roughly 12% down from the month of April. But by the time our community grew to 300 people, so that was growing. More people joined the platform. Just to explain you, like what we do on a macro level is we are trying to democratize the financial market. What that means is basically, if you consider any big hedge fund or any big bank in the world, like they hire top talents who build trading algorithms, and then they deploy their capital to capitalize on those algorithms. So essentially what we had built till now was ability, like enable anyone to build trading algorithms, whether somebody is sitting in Nigeria or Kenya or United States or India. And then we basically launched our next product, which was called Mudrex Marketplace. So these traders could publish their algorithms on the marketplace, and anyone else can invest using those algorithms for a fee. So that's what we released on 1st of June. And because of that, we started growing insanely. So in June, we grew 5 times compared to May. So we did roughly $3 million worth of trading volume in the month of June. Some people were using some other people's algorithm. Now we started getting different kind of feedback from people who were not creating the algorithm, but they were using algorithm which was created by someone else. So these people wanted to interact with the algorithm creators directly. So they started asking, like, is there a way I can like talk to the guy who made this algorithm before I want to use this algorithm? So we started experimenting with another thing. We gave all the publishers who basically created an algorithm a different separate channel for themselves. And using that, again, activity increased. We reached to 700 people in our community, and that led us to insane amount of growth in July as well. So again, we grew almost 5 times, and we did $15 million worth of trading volume in the month of July. And till now in August, like within 15 days, we have already crossed $50 million worth of trading volume. So you can say like $100 million month in trading volume, which is again 6 to 7 times compared to the month of June. So that's been the growth story, and the only reason that growth has happened till now is because of the single most important factor, which is like we have talked to our users on a daily basis, 5 hours, 6 hours a day. That's the only thing we have kept doing without having any other priority, basically, and that helped us build that brand, even though we are still small. We are just a $100 million trading volume kind of a business. To reach, so our next milestone is, of course, to reach $1 billion, which could be like 3 months away with this growth at max. On a macro level, basically, we want to build a system which is 100% reliable. People can literally shut off their eyes, they can go to sleep. Because for traders, that's the most important part, that whatever logic they have defined, that keeps working on a consistent basis. None of your Flipkart or Amazon or like any of those companies have that level of consistent infrastructure. That's the kind of tech infrastructure we have to build. And those would be the biggest challenges to build this company for us. To achieve like this a global scale phenomena. Like this is just a start. We are still growing 5x, 10x a month, but this is still a start. Like the real scale would be when we would be doing $100 billion trading volume every month. So that is still far away, and that's what we are focusing on. That is what keeping us awake at nights. Till then, all we are doing is like still listening to our users. So we are lucky enough to have such kind of users. Like it just because of the users we have had to achieve this kind of level. And the users we have had are so much passionate that even if you will scold us, even if you will scold Mudrex on a public forum, these users will like go and fight for us without us getting involved in that. And that's a dream for any entrepreneur, like users fighting for your company. So I'm looking forward to this journey, and like let's see what other learnings do we get on the path. So yeah, this was my journey, guys. My journey started from a small town, how I went to IIT, how I got the exposure to entrepreneurship, which ended up me building a company which I love and like which keeps me up at night. Thanks for watching this video. I hope you get inspired by my journey. If you want to know anything about my company, or if you want to ask any question, like you can leave a comment down below. If you want to check us out, like go to www.mudrex.com. Please share this video, and hope you enjoyed this. Have a nice day.
Try to survive, make things work as best you can. I'm actually going to something which